Good day, everyone. This is Paramjit from UUM. I will be presenting my paper today, Learning and Collaboration, Insights from Peer Feedback. Okay, this paper actually looks at peer feedback because we think that peer feedback is a valuable tool for students and instructors, and it's actually been proven to be beneficial in writing classes as it can provide students with immediate feedback, as opposed to feedback given by instructors, which could be delayed. And peer feedback also allows students to collaborate in order to improve their writing skills. And peer feedback research shows that it is often perceived to be non-threatening by students receiving it, as opposed to feedback from instructors. The objective of this paper is to examine graduate students' attitudes towards peer feedback in a critical review writing assessment. And we look at survey and some qualitative comments given by the students involved. So very briefly, the benefits of peer feedback, which sometimes is also referred to as peer review, peer editing, peer evaluation, or peer response, involve students providing comments on other students' work and also receive comments for their own work. So it's both ways. Peer feedback can be in written and oral formats. Liu 2023 stated that peer feedback as a practice wherein ESL and EFL learners take on the responsibility of evaluating and giving feedback on their peers' drafts. The peer feedback process aids in improving language performance and fosters critical thinking, reader awareness, and motivation. Lin states that specific and critical peer feedback significantly aids students in improving their writing abilities. And Landstrom and Baker, meaningful interaction with peers and increased exposure to new ideas are vital in developing language and writing abilities, and peer feedback actually provides a platform for this. Right, but of course, peer feedback, when we incorporate it in our classes, there are some challenges and drawbacks. Okay, so revolves around the accuracy and quality of the feedback provided by peers. Less proficient or struggling learners often have problems with providing accurate feedback due to their own limited knowledge of the language. Inaccurate peer feedback can also be detrimental, leading to demotivating and frustrating experiences for learners. So when we incorporate peer feedback, we have to also be cautious, right? So peer feedback needs to be carefully planned and also involve feedback from the instructor to overcome these challenges. So it's not where the instructor is hands-off, and there's only peer feedback. So peer feedback is supplementary to the feedback from the instructor. So there must be a balance between peer feedback and teacher feedback or instructor feedback. Right. While peer feedback promotes autonomy, teacher feedback results in more substantial textual changes. Right. So there must be both of these when we're carrying out peer feedback in the classroom. Right. So this balance is essential to provide comprehensive guidance and support to students. So the methodology for this paper. So this is purely a descriptive study, so exploratory in nature, and we use both the quantitative and the qualitative designs. For the quantitative, 14 items on a 4-point Likert scale, right? And it's a questionnaire adapted from several sources, as well as semi-structured interviews with all the participants. So this is a whole class research. Right, so 19 graduate students are in one class. right? So the method was where they actually were supposed to carry out a critical summary assessment. So before the assessment, they were given instruction on how to do the summary, as well as given information about the peer feedback process. So they did the summary, and then the peer feedback was carried out, right? So after the peer feedback, students improved on their own summaries and then submitted to the instructor. So there was also instructor feedback towards the end, and they were also able to improve their assignment and then submit. So 2 rounds of improvements. So the findings of the study from the survey, majority of the respondents viewed the peer feedback activity as a worthwhile experience and considered it as an interesting activity as they were able to exchange ideas with their classmates, right? So all the items had a means of over 2.5 out of 4, out of a scale of 4, indicating students have positive perceptions of all the items, and there were no negative worded items. The highest mean was 3.53 for item 2. I think students should also be involved in providing feedback, right? So the lowest mean 2.11. Item 5, I think it's solely the lecturer's responsibility to provide feedback on the students' writing. So you can see that they were actually happy to be a part of the feedback process. Results show that these students valued peer feedback and the role of peers in helping improving writing, right? Students also showed high agreement in terms of valuing and the support and encouragement from peers to help improve their writing. Okay, so students also showed high agreement in terms of the same item 10, right? So item 10 was support and encouragement from my peers will help my learning, and it has had a means of 3.47, quite high. Students also had high agreement with item 14. I feel that this peer feedback exercise will help improve my final article review. Okay, so quite a high means. So these students valued and appreciated the peer feedback exercise and had a positive view that it would improve their final writing product. Okay, so from the interviews, it actually supported the findings from the survey. So the first respondent, so these are some of the reactions to feedback. I felt positive during the activity and comfortable to ask my classmates questions regarding the assignment as all of us learned from the mistakes we made in our review. So this is a very positive response. Right, and R4, you can see it was difficult to understand my peers' article in the beginning, but with the use of the rubrics, I managed to give feedback to my peer. I definitely felt good after the feedback activity as I got a better view and understanding of the article. So when they actually do the article, they give the feedback, they also learn and they also learned on how to improve their own on their own assessment, right? So this is a twofold kind of benefit for them. One, to give feedback and as well as learn something from the feedback, because all of them did the same article. So all of them reviewed the same article, right? So at R14, the activity is very helpful since I got to know the areas to improve. I am glad that I'll be able to repair my work before the final submission, right? And another theme that we found was usefulness of feedback in improving writing, right? Helpful for me to improve on my writing. There was a missing part of the review, which I only realized after this activity. So yeah, they also discovered about their own writing, right? Before they even got the feedback, right? You can see here, beneficial, focus and improve in my writing. beneficial and some are not. Yeah, so this is quite good because they are critical of the peer feedback, right? And this one, feedback from lecturer, all want feedback from peers and lecturer. So they want a balance of both. And they understand that it's not only enough just to get uh, help from their peers, but they also need from their lecturer because they are also afraid of the peer feedback, right? Feedback from lecturer would be helpful for me to keep my task on track by focusing on the rubrics given, right? So they believe that the feedback from lecturer is actually formal and feedback from friends is informal because the feedback session did not have any marks allocated to it. Right, so in conclusion, it is essential to help develop positive experiences and attitudes towards student-centered exercises that will help them become critical and independent writers. Feedback is an essential part of developing students' writing skills, and having the teacher or lecturer as well as peers providing feedback will enrich students' writing experiences. Peer feedback can be incorporated in writing classes to improve writing skills as well as enable students to critically examine their own writing while they provide feedback to their peers. Right? Peer feedback, if incorporated in a structured manner, may create a positive learning environment for students and develop higher order thinking skills. And peer feedback in writing offers numerous benefits, includes improved writing skills, enhanced autonomy, exposure to diverse perspectives, and positive impacts of e-feedback if we are doing it electronically, right? However, challenges such as the accuracy and reliability of feedback, logistical issues, and the integration with teacher feedback need to be addressed to maximize its effectiveness. And I believe I have been doing peer feedback for quite some time. I believe that the instructor needs to be prepared, well prepared, and as well as the rubrics. The rubrics need to be clear, and students need to know how to use the rubrics. So the preparation is very essential, right? And thank you. If you have any queries or questions, you can email me at the address shown. Thank you. Have a good day.